We started out and we got into crafts as a hobby. It was a hobby kind of thing, and I think now that we're totally immersed in it. Isn't we live it, and it's made a lot of changes in our life and the way we live. Yeah, for one thing, you have to get up early in the morning to start a kill, and it's a cyclic thing. That it's like a juggling act. You have things that have to be done every day. If I throw pots today, I have to trim them. I have to trim them tomorrow, and when they're dry, they have to be fired. And there's all these processes going on all the time. I work harder than I did when I was working in a factory, and but I enjoy it. I didn't enjoy working in a factory. There's a lot more to life than chasing a dollar. And
no, I have nothing against catching a few dollars, but that's how you catch them, I guess, that counts.
Yeah. Started the house in '72, and it still isn't finished. Pat did most of the wiring and the insulation. We put the wallboard up together. Yeah, we designed the house ourselves. We started out by talking about what we didn't like in a house and what we didn't want, and this house is kind of a synthesis of the things that
what's left over.
Yeah, it was sort of what's left over. We made sketches and tried different floor plans and so on, and we came up with this as a design. And at that time, of course, we didn't realize we were going to be making pottery here, and it's worked out really good. We had a large room in the basement that was going to be the family room, and it's a studio now.
It's the family room.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not the way we planned it. The process is de-airs, tugs, and wedges the clay, so all we have to do now is ball it up and throw it.
Doesn't it save you a lot of work?
It saves me an awful lot of work, but I'm getting downright flabby.
You used to do it by hand.
I used to do it all by hand, yes.
When we started out, I was doing good. I'd sit down if I could throw 7 pots in a day. I thought I was doing pretty good. And now we can turn out quite a few pieces in a day. Sort of a rhythm develops. You get used to the sound of the wheel. It's something that you've done thousands of times. You get used to it. You can almost anticipate what the other person is going to do, and it just helps to make it an efficient operation. I like to sit down and throw 50 pieces of something rather than make one piece. It's like you get done with throwing a group of pots, and you look at them and they're like a family. You never can produce the same thing again exactly. I think you get into, with custom work, you get into a communication problem that quite often what the buyer wants and what I make are not the same. And I'm better off, I think, just making a line and selling it.
Now this stuff is greenware. It's been thrown and trimmed and dried. And now it's going to be bisque fired.
The English used to call it biscuit firing pots because they were, I suppose they would, they'd break easily like a biscuit, and they became known as bisque firing. And what you're doing is you're firing the pot to the point that it isn't as fragile as it is when it's greenware, and then you can glaze it more easily without breaking it. These are called parametric cones. They have a known melting point, and we put them in here, and there's a peephole here, and we can look in through the side of the kiln and watch these cones, and when the cones melt and fall over, we know we're at temperature, and we shut the kiln down. Every pot is fired twice, and in the second firing, the glaze firing, why the temperature has to be quite precise. If you go over temperature, you can actually run the glaze right off the pot, and if you go under temperature, you wind up with a glaze that doesn't look very good. So temperature is very important.
We went to the flea markets because we didn't know there were craft shows at that point. I guess I'd seen one once. We just didn't really know what else to do, and we started finding out about craft shows. And of course, at craft shows, the biggest subject of conversation among the craftsmen is where the next craft show is. So very soon we found out where to go and who to see. And the first craft show we went to was quite a revelation, because instead of walking up and offering us a quarter for an $8 pot, people came up and said, "My goodness, this is a nice pot. I'll take it." Panama Rocks was one of the first of the local shows we did. 4 years ago, I think, was the first Panama show we did. And it was very pleasant.
Cause it wasn't very big. This little pig died for want of breath. Little pig died for want of breath. Little pig died for want of breath. Wasn't that an awful death?
Most of what we've been doing lately has been dip and pour glazing. I do some wax resist technique and some painting. The pot tends to soak the water up, and the glaze is suspended in the water, and the pot winds up coated with the dry glaze. I've always liked Oriental pottery. I think some of the old Sun period potters were they were the best. They were making the best pottery that's ever been made. And you go to a museum today and look at the glazes, and they're nicer than anything that's being done now.
It's really nice when somebody comes back to a show you've done before, and buys another piece from you and tells you how much they've enjoyed using the teapot or the mugs or the goblets or whatever they bought from you a year ago. And because they use them so much, they want more. Sgraffito is a technique of cutting away the glaze and leaving a design. Now when it fires, it'll sort of smooth out.
You open the kiln, why it's just like Christmas. These glazes in the unfired state, why they'll be brown or beige. There won't be much color to them before they're fired, and after they're fired, they may be a bright blue or green or whatever. But they're pretty dull when they're put on. You can get into making an item that you're sick of making it, but you're still producing it because it sells good. I don't think that's good either. I think growth comes by becoming bored with what you're making and going on to something else.
Sometimes we find something that we like to make, but nobody wants to.
Yeah, yeah, that can happen.
That's a little difficult.
It's great market research. If you take 10 pieces to a show and they're gone just like that, why you're going to make more for sure. And it's an evolving sort of thing. It's fun. It's fun to watch it evolve.
That's one of the things I like about doing craft fairs, as compared to selling through shops, is that I can talk to the people and relate to the people. It's much more of a reaction than I can get secondhand through what sells to a shop.
Yeah, probably make a living just wholesaling pots, but to do that we'd have to stop doing shows, and I don't think we really want to do that. We really enjoy doing the shows.
You make a lot of friends over the course of a year traveling around to these different shows?
Yeah, we sure do. It's like old home week at most of these now. Since we work in our home and spend most of our time there, it's work, but it's kind of like a vacation at the same time.
The quality of handcrafted items has improved, and so has the public's awareness of handcrafted things. And there's definitely more of a demand today for handcrafted items than there was, say, 5 years ago. Well, it's competitive. If you go to a show, we went to Penn State last year, and it's a show that there's about 500 craftsmen in the show, and 76 of them were potters. And that's competition. That's really competition. Nobody has a corner on talent.